Well, I left the house late at night when the sun had gone to bed. I just needed to get some space, clear some thoughts from my head. So I took the dog for company. We wandered round the park, till in a moment of darkness I saw the vital spark, that I should write a poem just to say that I'm alright, when there was a tug for the lead as he stopped to have a sniff. Well, I started choosing carefully the words to fit my load. A heavy shower had started, the rain was bouncing off the road. It was just enough to soak us as we wandered on our way, but just imagine writing a masterpiece and publishing it someday. Well, I started composing doggerel, but it wasn't sounding right. But I found some useful rhyming slang like Eartha Kitt and Gladys Knight. I really was so deep in thought trying to word this ode, when the dog started squatting and he ditched a heavy load. So I stopped and picked up what had fallen out his ass. Then we walked on to the golf course and across the wet grass. And while walking down the slope, thinking about my verse, my feet slipped in the wet mud and I landed on my back. Well, I just thought, you Gareth Hunt, I came down with quite a thud. Thank God no one was watching, I must have looked a complete fool. And as I picked myself up, there was something I hadn't planned. The put bag I'd been holding had burst while in my hand. Well, there's really nothing worse than the smell of a dog's turd. So I wiped my hand across the tee. I must have looked quite absurd. And when I finished wiping up, I headed towards the green, while the dog had sniffed a couple out, doing something quite obscene. Now, from where I was standing, her cheeks were rosy red. She was straddling over him and her legs were widely spread. It really was game on for him as he'd found her open goal. Then she started screaming frantically when the dog licked her in the leg. Well, she took off like a sprinter coming off the starting block. The guy started screaming, "Hey, you've just broke my record. I tell you, she could really shift with her skirt around her waist." But maybe sex in front of animals wasn't quite to her taste. So I decided to turn around and make my way back home, and after what had happened I couldn't concentrate on my poem. So I thought, I'll leave it. I'll try again tomorrow night. And after a few beers and the wife's gone to sleep, I'll get peace to sitting right.